This is section 8.2, and we're going to be solving some oblique triangles in this section. Last section, 8.1, we were solving right triangles, which made it really pretty easy because we always had a 90-degree angle to deal with. But we have a couple of options here. Either all the angles will be acute, or we'll have two acute ones and one obtuse angle. There are four cases, and if you remember anything about geometry, the letters may ring a bell. One side and two angles, so that could be ASA or SAA, and those pictured are here for case one. Case two would be two sides and the angle opposite one of them, so side, side, angle. Case three, two sides and the included angle, so side, angle, side. And then case four would be three sides. And so those are the four cases that we may encounter. And we can use what's called the law of sines to solve for case one and two. And so the law of sines looks like this. If you have three sides, little a, little b, little c, and the angles opposite, capital letters, then sine of A over A is equal to sine of B over B is equal to sine C over C. And you would only be using two of those at a time, but you can use them in any combination. So let's see how that works in this example here. So solve a triangle given that angle A is 40, angle B is 60, and side A is 4. So we can draw that triangle ABC. And A is 40 and there's 60. And we have side A is 4, so that's opposite the 40. We can find the third angle by adding all of them up and knowing that they equal 180. So when we do that, we get that C is 80. Once we have that, we can use any combination to find side B and side C. So let's look at finding B first. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. So sine of 40 over 4, 40 over 4, equals sine 60 over B. You're going to cross multiply like this. So B sine 40 equals 4 sine 60. That's this line. We're solving for B, so we're going to divide by sine 40. And we have here. If we look at our calculator, let me clear that. And so you would just do 4 sine 60, making sure you're in degrees, divided by sine 40. And we get the 5.389. It'll round to 5.39. So then you would do the same thing to solve for C, using 40 and 4, and using 80, and there's your 80, solving for C. But you do exactly the same thing and you use your calculator, and you will have gotten the two sides and the third angle. All right. Case two, sometimes you have the ambiguous case when you have two sides and an angle opposite one of them, because it could result in either one triangle, which was what we have been having, could be two triangles, or it could be no triangle. So let's look here and see what happened when it ended up being two triangles, and we'll see one of those in our homework. So we were given two sides and an angle. So if we plug in sine of 35 over 6 equals sine B over 8, we get sine B is this amount. And remember that if you go to your calculator and you do second sine and you put in 0.76 and you hit enter, you get 49 point, how did we get 49.9? I'm not sure what happened there. That's not my problem, but let's see. Maybe they rounded right there. Maybe that's the deal. So let's do this other part. Let's do 8 sine 35 divided by 6. Okay, and so that's, and then if we did second sine of that answer, 49.88. That's the deal. They didn't do it with the 0.76, which makes sense. You should not round till the end. All right, so there's that. So, and then because it's 49.9, if we go ahead and subtract that from 180, we're still under. We get 130.1. Both choices of B result in A plus B being less than 180. I could add 35 to that, or I could add 35 to that, and I am still under 180. So if that happens, then you've got two triangles. So that's how we can check that. Then we can find the third angle, C, by subtracting the A and the B if A is 35 and B is 49.9, and doing it for this one, letting B2 be the 130.1. So we have two different C's. We get 14.9 or we get 95.1. So we're going to build two triangles using that information. So you can see after doing and getting the fact that you have two triangles, then you just do both triangles, finding C1 and C2. And that's kind of what we'll do on your homework problem as well. So let's go look at those problem sets. All right, number one is just reminding you of what the law of sines actually looks like, and you have to choose the right one. And so regardless of how yours is written, when you have a question like that, you want to find the correct law and choose that. Number two, we're actually going to do one like we did in the example. Solve the triangle to the right. So in the picture, you're given that angle up here is 80 and this one's 45. And you're given this side that's opposite the 80. So it's easy to find angle A. We will do 180 minus the sum of the two angles that are given, and that would give us 55. So I wrote 55 in here in red. Then we use the law of sines to find the missing sides. So sine of 45 over B is equal to sine of 80 over 5. Remember, you just want one missing part when you fill it all in. So then you cross multiply. So you have 5 sine 45 equals B sine 80. We divide by sine 80, and we say that that's equal to B. We'll go over here to our calculator, and let's just do this one. 5 sine 45, close, divided by sine 80. And be sure you're in degree mode. We'll close that. We'll hit enter. And we do get the 3.59. We're rounding to two places. So there we go. Do the same thing to solve for side A, except that you do have to use the 55 and A, and then 80 and 5. So same idea, and you come up with both sides and the angle, and you have solved the triangle. Number three, same idea. You are given 69 and 40. You can find out the third angle is 71, and you're given one side. We do the same thing. Sine 40 over B is equal to sine 71 over 11. So we'll do that, and we come up with B, and then we can solve for C. So you can see it's the same idea, it's just calculations. Number four is the same thing. It didn't give you a triangle, so you do need to draw one. So A is 20, B is 40, side A is 9. Always remember that the side is opposite the angle that has the same letter. So 20, 40, 120, and then 9 goes here, and B goes there, C goes there. So now we have the picture, and we're going to solve from there. And so we find that we found the C being 120 because that was the part we didn't have. Then we use the law of sines to find side B and side C. All right. Let's go to number 5.